Czy masz odwagę powiedzieć żonom, dziś stałem tam, gdzie stało domo?
Welcome guys, and now we are talking about the second phone. A phone for a travel. Do you need a second phone for a travel? From my point of view, yes. And usually you need 3 or 4 phones for common use. First is a main phone, which should have the best camera. You should have the best camera. This is a main phone which you use every day, is with you all the time, and you do most things on that. So you have banking apps and everything on that. So that's important to have a really good phone as a main phone. Second phone is a travel phone, which you use on a travel out of Europe, out of EU. Third phone is a business phone. That phone can be some cheaper version. It doesn't have to be the best and the newest. You just need to answer calls and have coverage. So it needs to be 5G phone, but it can be one of the cheaper 5G phone. I use Realme 14 as a main and a Realme 8 5G with 64 GB my storage for a business. So for a main I have 12 GB of RAM and 512 GB of my storage, and for a business I have 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage, which is still enough for a business. You don't need anything more. And the number 4 phone is a phone which you use for a drone. If you want to use a drone, you will need separate phone to have a drone apps. This is the best idea, to have a separate, and Realme 8 5G is still enough for that. Realme 8 5G with 64 GB of mass storage and 4 GB of RAM is still enough to a drone, because you will use that app on this phone only with a drone apps, with nothing more. So you need something which will be for a drone, drone control and nothing more. So it will be still enough. And what you should choose for a travel phone depends. Do you love to make photos? Take some phone with a good camera, and it needs to be also responsible. You will need to install apps which is necessary on a travel, and if you travel to a country out of EU, you will need to put a local SIM card to your phone, to your travel phone, to have internet access. Because you don't want to pay huge bills for internet access with your European SIM card. If you travel to Asia, to US or whatever, you will need, for example, Korean or Japanese SIM card to have internet access. So this phone needs to be responsible, so you will feel good when you will use it on a travel. And it should have good camera to make good photos. For a long time I was using Realme 8 5G with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of mass storage as a travel phone. Some time ago I decided to upgrade it to a Realme 12. Why? Because I bought Realme 14 as my main phone, and all the main phone, which was Realme 12, I've moved to a travel phone. So I've moved all apps from Realme 8 to Realme 12 Pro plus 5G with 12 GB of RAM and 512 GB of mass storage, just because I wanted a better camera. This was the main reason. All apps still work on a Realme 8, because the Realme 8 has a Realme 13 Android. Realme 8 5G has an Android 13 version, and in a Realme 14 you have Android 15 with 2 upgrades up to 17. In the Realme 12 we have Android 14 with 2 upgrades. Now it's upgraded to Android 15, but there's still one more upgrade. But the Android 13 in the Realme 8 still works good. But I've just decided that when I upgrade my main phone, I will not sell that old main phone. I will just move it to a travel phone. So this is a great idea. So I've chosen the Realme 12 Pro Plus with 4 GB of RAM and 512 GB of max storage, which was really great and has a really beautiful camera. It makes much better quality photos than the Realme 8. But as I told you, I will use this phone only on a traveler. I will upgrade it very often at home, but when I travel out of EU, I will use that one. From my point of view, great idea. So this phone is really responsible and works great. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna see you later.
Ty co kobiety chciałbyś zniewolić, pozbawić chciałbyś niewolnej woli. Rządzie biskupie, do was to mówię, wstydzi się was dziś kraj. Nie płaczcie siostry, ducha nie traćcie, uwierzcie w naszą wygraną walkę. Uwierzcie w to, że już niedługo piękniejszy będzie kraj.